year, and with that comes the perfect time to reinvent yourself. Is this the year that you're going to get the haircut of your dreams? A new haircut that perfectly flatters your features can make you feel like a completely different person in the best of ways. It not only changes your look, but it changes your entire vibe. Today, I'm going to be showing you 6 haircut trends that are going to be blowing up your feeds for 2024, and maybe one is perfect for you. Watch until the end because there's also going to be a giveaway. Let's go. The first trend that we need to talk about are Birkin bangs. Birkin bangs are named after the iconic actress and fashion icon Jane Birkin, who wore her hair like this during her rise in the 60s and 70s. Fun fact, she is actually considered like the OG influencer, the total it girl of that generation, and she is clearly still having an influence on our beauty choices even today. So Birkin bangs are super soft, long bangs. The shortest point through the middle, right, skims the brow, and then they get longer through the sides. They're also known to be slightly uneven, very tapered through the ends, and not at all blunt. Many stylists actually use a razor to cut this style of fringe because it produces a finer, more textured and wispier edge. Now, in terms of who should wear it, this style works best on people with smooth and naturally straight hair. If your hair has more texture or it's curly, you will need a lot of heat styling to keep this looking how you want it to look. Bangs are a big commitment, right? They're a big commitment because they're right in the front of your face. So if your hair has any texture whatsoever, you know that as soon as it's humid or it rains or it's windy, they will get really messed up and you'll just end up clipping them back. So if your hair isn't naturally going to want to sit smooth and wispy and airy like these bangs need to sit, then just think twice before you get them. It doesn't mean that you can't get them, but they will be high maintenance in terms of styling. Now, the good news, okay, there's gotta be some good news in here. The good news is that if you have straight and fine hair, this may be a fantastic cut for you because finer hair naturally tends to look softer and wispier than thick hair. So it will lay in just a very nice, flattering way with much less effort. In terms of face shape, this will suit practically any face shape because it doesn't close the face in too much. Your stylist can adjust the shape of them to slim out a wider face by getting longer through the sides, adding length here through the sides, or you can add some fullness to a narrow face by extending it out a little further and getting longer more on the perimeter of the face here. The next trend that has been here for a while but is still holding on strong is the blunt bob. I love this haircut. I'm actually getting mine recut to a bob, like a chin length bob tomorrow. So if you want to see the results of that, then follow me on Instagram because I post a ton of bite-sized kind of hair tutorials and videos on there. I do that every day. Every day I post a video on there. There is a lot of variation with this cut. In terms of length, it can sit right at the chin or it can graze the shoulder and have more of a lob or a long bob vibe. The most important element of this haircut though is that it is unlayered, right? The word blunt says it all. So it's not graduated or tapered in the nape. It doesn't stack. It's fully one length all the way around with the exception of the fringe. You can wear it with a fringe or with a little bit of framing, but the rest of it should be blunt and square in shape. This cut was made super popular by Hailey Bieber last year. As soon as she got this haircut, it really started blowing up everywhere because she is just such an it girl, right? A total style trendsetter. We also saw it on Kourtney Kardashian, and that really made it super popular as well. With that said though, last year there was also a surge of TikToks about how you will hate this cut if you get it. Have you guys seen any of those like expectation versus reality TikToks about this haircut? Oh my gosh. Considering I had this haircut, I know how true they are and they really made me laugh. They're so funny. The reason that a lot of people get this haircut and hate it is because the bottom is extremely heavy. I always recommend this cut for people with thin, fine hair because it literally makes your hair look like it's double the thickness at the bottom. But with that said, if you have very thick hair, it will immediately turn you into a triangle, okay? It will give you pyramid head. It will. If you have a lot of texture in your hair, it also does not air dry well at all. So for 99% of people, that means this is the type of cut that you have to style every single day. So is this low maintenance, right? It could be if your hair is straight and fine, but if it's not, there will definitely be a learning curve. It will be a high maintenance haircut. Again, it doesn't mean you can't get it. I have very textured hair and I have it and I love it, but you need some patience as you learn to work with it and, you know, style it in a way that's flattering. The next trend is for the curly girlies of the world. I've been seeing a lot of round curly cuts showing up everywhere. Natural texture has really been making a comeback in every haircut actually. People are just loving like low maintenance vibes lately. This look rocks that natural texture, but with loads and loads of volume, and the roundness of it feels very playful, right? The peak of the volume really sits around here in the cheekbone area, and it isn't heavy at all at the bottom. It's actually the opposite of the previous haircut, okay? It's the opposite of my haircut. It tapers and gets thinner at the bottom, whereas mine gets thicker and denser at the bottom, right? Like I said before, fringes are gonna be huge this year, and I'm seeing it in this haircut as well. The addition of a fringe with a round curly cut just adds that overall light, fluffy, kind of round aesthetic. It's so pretty. I think this cut looks gorgeous on literally every face shape, even round faces. And you wouldn't think that, right? Because it's a round cut on a round face, but I've seen it on round faces and I think it looks so, so, so beautiful. It massively enhances your curl pattern. So if you're sick of your curly hair looking heavy and drab, you can't get it to lift up, maybe it's time to give this cut a go. Just as a heads up, if you want this haircut, I strongly advise you to go to a curly hair specialist. The layering at the top is actually quite short compared to the bottom, and that's why you see that kind of peak of volume and then the slight tapering down. If it's done properly, it looks stunning, but to be honest, I don't think the majority of stylists who work with more straight hair textures will know how to do this properly and perfectly. So go to someone who works with a lot of curly textures. Look at their portfolio. That's going to be key in getting the execution of this look done properly. The next trend that I want to show you is the mid-length cut. Okay, because bobs were so huge late into last year, I think we're going to see a big rise in the mid-length cut. This is a trend for all the girls that got the bob that didn't love it and then started growing out their hair, right? That's kind of where I'm at right now, kind of in that vibe right now. Not that I didn't love my bob, I did, but it's an outgrown bob, hence it becomes mid-length, right? In my experience, mid-length haircuts are the most hated haircut in the salon. It is the length that starts flipping out at the shoulders. It's not chic and short, but it's also not glamorous and long, right? But today, hopefully I can change your mind about it because it can be a gorgeous length. It doesn't have to be a growing out your hair length haircut. It can be a haircut all of its own, believe it or not. What I've been seeing lately in this length is this hybrid between the long butterfly cut and the bob. So you're getting a long bob vibe that is heavily layered in the front like the butterfly cut to create that 90s style movement and lift. If you add a fringe to this, you can even get this kind of like 60s, 70s shaggy vibe too. I love this haircut so much. I actually did an entire tutorial showing you how to cut your own face framing like this. If you want to like DIY it, I suggest you go look at that next. I'll leave a link to it in the cards and in the pinned comments below just in case. The great thing about this is that it's very flattering on almost all hair types with the exception of extremely thin fine hair. You don't want to heavily layer thin fine hair, but for everyone else, it works really, really well. You get a ton of movement and volume, and all the layering around the face actually acts as like a natural facial contour. So it really enhances cheekbones and softens out any jaw issues that you may have. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Moving right along, let's not leave out long haircuts. I know someone will be very mad at me in the comments if I do. Last year we saw octopus haircuts, wolf cuts, really shaggy cuts. This year I feel like we're going right back to the classics. We are taking long hair and we are face framing the heck out of it. We're adding long layers to the back and fringing it up. It's ultra sexy, ultra feminine, super soft and classic. I can't say I'm mad about it. I much prefer this haircut to the really trendy like wolf cuts or shag cuts, but that's just personal preference. I like a more classic look, so I'm very happy that these are back in style. One cut that was super popular last year was the butterfly haircut. In one of my most watched videos of last year, I actually cut this on a client of mine on camera for you guys to see like the transformative effects that this has on the face. It really is an amazing cut for contouring out features, and it takes that traditionally kind of boring long haircut and it makes it super fun and flirty. It's still a long long layered haircut, but it's so much more fun, so much more flirty. I don't see the butterfly haircut going anywhere this year. I think it's gonna get even more popular. Now, this video wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about something a little more shaggy, okay? Like I said before, last year was the year of the shags and the wolf cuts, right? Well, this year, we are still seeing some of that. It always carries over, but we are softening that rock star edge out a bit, and we're bringing in the kitty cut. So the kitty cut is basically a wolf cut with a more sophisticated finish. The wolf cut was super shaggy. It was styled with lots of flips. The kitty cut is still extremely layered, but with the layers being more focused on the face frame. The kitty cut to me is kind of a hybrid between the butterfly cut and the wolf cut. It's less finished and girly than the butterfly cut, but more finished than the wolf cut, right? You still get the movement of a shag, but without the really severe silhouettes. This has been predicted by all the beauty gurus to be the most requested and most trending haircut of 2024. So we'll see if that happens. Now in the comment section, let me know which haircut I said that I was getting tomorrow. Whoever knows is going to be entered to win a prize. This video's over.